throw a punch, I swing from the inside, pull with my knees towards me to bring him closer to me. I want to bring the weight this way. As I get him down, I'm going to push on his head. If he doesn't pick a side, I'm going to help him to pick one side. I push on the back of the head so the jaw sticks out. I put my foot on the ground, reach over to grab the jaw, and then I'm going to use the leverage I have created by turning sideways, not staying underneath him, actually turning sideways, to rip his jaw, push with my hand, push with my leg, and turn him over. I still have the jaw under control for punches or whatever I need to do. That's one. So the guy sits up, tries to throw punches. I swing from the inside, pull with my knees, take him down, picking his head on one side here, right? I put my foot on the ground, I reach over to grab the jaw. Once I get the jaw, it's very important that I stay so my shoulders are on top of each other, so I'm sideways turned. So I can create leverage to rip his head that way. Do not get stuck underneath him. You don't have the leverage there. So now I'm here, I'm starting to crank on the jaw, add on my second hand to get a better grip in case it's sweaty, and then I just crank it right. I have his jaw still. I'm not letting go of that. I'm keeping my shoulder down. I'm not staying on top of him. I'm staying on this side of him. Continue punching from here. It's a very powerful move. If I stay over here too much, he might be able to roll me. Because my arm can be trapped and he can roll me. So I have to stay this way with my shoulder. And then punch it. Two is when the guy sits up, throws a punch, I swim, I pull him down, turn his head, I go for the jaw, but the guy pulls his head out. Then I go for the arm. I don't grab the wrist for the simple reason, if I grab the wrist and the guy sits back, I can't get up on my hand fast enough, and then I might lose a submission or situation there. So I stay here, only this way. Put my hand on the ground and try to push up and turn the guy by pushing with my leg on this side, flipping the guy over very easily over to here to be able to go for 1 or 2 or 3 different arm bars here, right? I swing from the inside, pull with my knees, getting down close, protect myself from getting head-butted. Now I push the back of the head to pop the jaw out. As I go over for the jaw, the guy pulls his head out. When he pulls his head out, I go for the arm. I do not grab the wrist here yet. In case the guy doesn't want to go back, I'm going to put my hand here, try to take him back, reverse him over. As I reverse him over, I now go for either the Americana, or a straight arm bar. If it turns this way, I'm going to switch hands going for the kimono. Throws a punch, I swing, pull him down using my legs, trapping his head, going for the jaw, the guy sits back out, going for the arm to take him over, but as I try to take him over, he leans into me. So we're falling back down to the ground. Now I grab his wrist, grab my hand to put the arm bar on here, or shoulder bar, shoulder lock. When I do this though, as I'm trying to put the crank on this one, he jumps over this way. I let him do that. I go with him to end up in the mount for either arm bar here, if he extends the arm bar there. If it bends the arm the other way, I switch hand going for the arm bar here, with the kimono. I swing from the inside, I pull him down using my legs and my arms. I push on the back of the head, put my foot on the ground so I can scoot my butt out. I go for the shoulder, but he pulls his head out. I come over for the arm. I try to come up against him to flip him over, but he leans towards me. That's when I go for the wrist. Now I have the wrist. I either try to finish him here with the wrist lock, or if it tries to roll that way, then I let him do it. I go with him all the way over, continuing from here to apply one of the arm bars, depending on what he's doing. Or I could even step over to side mount to finish it. But as long as I have his arm, I'm not going to let go of it. This time the guy sits up, throws a punch, I swim in, pull him down using my legs, pushing his head, going for the jaw. The guy gets out with his head, I go for this. I try to take him over, but he leans forward. I try to go for the arm bar, but this time, instead of leaning that way, he leans towards his arm. So I can't really crank it. Pay attention to this now. His shoulder is coming up here because he's trying to put the pressure on this shoulder. That allows me to come over either A, for the guillotine. Right back in the guillotine and tap it. I swim, I track the head, I go down, push on the back of the head, use my foot, scoop my hip out, go for the jaw. As I'm trying to do this, he pulls his head out, I come up, try to flip him, bah, he leans into me, we go down, I try to do this, but this time the guy doesn't roll that way, he actually puts his weight back on this shoulder, so I can't really get this arm very well. Then I bring it over either for the A, the guillotine, or B. If the guy's shoulder is down so much and it's so tight I can't get this hand in, then I'm going to shoot this hand in under the shoulder. I'm going to turn my body to stay tight behind his neck. Grab and stay tight, and now rip his body over this way. Push him with my leg, he goes right over, melt down with my body. Don't come up like this, melt down, and then crank on the shoulder, and it's over. If I can get my hand in, I go for the guillotine. Sometimes the guy's very close and tight here, I can't get my hand in for the guillotine. If that's the case, I'm going to take this hand, since he's pushing with this arm, push with this arm in the ground, to put pressure on this side. I know this shoulder is higher than his head. So I go for the guillotine, and then I just switch it, diving my hand through here, looking like this. Boom. As soon as I shoot it through, I turn my whole body towards that shoulder. So I stay tight behind his neck, very close to his neck here. I could most likely tap the person here, but I like to turn the guy into the mount first. So from here, I'm going to grab, I'm going to jank on this shoulder, and I'm going to go easy so I don't tap my training partner right now. I'm going to bring him over this way. Once I'm here now, I'm not coming up on my knees or my toes. I melt my body down, extending my legs, and then I squeeze around the neck, and there's the tap.